is that this camera does not float. So if you drop it in the water, it will sink. Welcome back everyone. So today we're going to be taking a look at this. The Fujifilm Finepix XP95. This camera was released in 2016 and it was designed for situations where you wouldn't normally want to take a normal point and shoot on. But besides that, this was a popular choice as a general purpose camera. Let's see if this is worth picking up if you're just getting into digital cameras or if you're looking to add a bit of ruggedness into your collection. Alright, let's get into it. The Fujifilm Finepix XP95 has a body made entirely out of shock-resistant plastic. Inside, it has a 16 megapixel CMOS sensor. On the top, you have 3 buttons, one for the movie record, one for the power, and the shutter button. On the front, you have the flash, an AF assist light, and the lens. There's also a rubberized grip for added comfort. The back has a simplified control layout, and on the right-hand side of the camera, you have a locking door. On the bottom, you have a small speaker and a plastic thread for attaching the camera to a tripod. The 3-inch LCD display on this is nice. On the left-hand side, you have the camera's program modes, and on the right-hand side, you have the frames remaining, the ISO, the selected image quality, a shake warning, and the camera's battery level. On the bottom, you have the shutter speed, the aperture, and the exposure comp value. To access the camera's battery, you have to unlock the door. To do this, you have to press the center button and rotate the knob to the unlock position. Now you can open the door. You'll notice a rubberized seal, and on the other side, you have the camera's battery and SD card. To remove the battery, slide the clip towards the bottom of the camera and the battery will pop out. The camera is powered by an NP45 lithium-ion battery pack. To remove the SD card, press on it lightly. The camera can take up to a 128GB SD card. To insert the battery, position the positive contact towards the bottom and slide the battery back in. The clip will lock it into place. To close the door, press your thumb on the upper portion of the door and rotate the knob to the locked position. Now the camera is ready to go. Every time you open the door on this camera, the camera will remind you to double check to make sure that the door is fully locked. It will do this at the next power up. Originally, the camera came with a BC45 charger, but the camera is also USB chargeable, which is a convenient feature. Some key selling points on this is that it can withstand drops of just under 6 feet. Also, if you wanted to take this underwater, it is waterproof up to 50 feet. Another thing worth mentioning is its 5x optical zoom, which is pretty impressive given that the camera does this from within the camera body. There's no lens extending in or out. Also, it has a very respectable burst mode, which is activated by just a push of a button on the back of the camera. The XP95 can perform a 10 frame per second burst. Another convenient feature, aside from the standard 10-second timer, is group timer, and what this does is it lets you select up to 4 subjects and the camera will use face detection to auto lock on the subject and take the photo on its own. The camera also has a decent macro mode. This camera also has 20 scene modes that range from action camera mode to portrait to landscape to 360 panorama and night tripod. There's also an underwater mode and a macro underwater mode. In the camera's program mode, you can change things such as the ISO, which range from 100 all the way up to 6400. There is also a limited ISO range. You can also change the AF mode for movie recording from continuous to center. A time-lapse movie mode that gives you frame rates from 60, 30, and 10 frames per second, and it lets you change the aspect ratio from 1080 all the way down to 480. In the camera's advanced filter section, you'll find several fun filters that help you expand your creativity that range from toy camera effect to miniature to fisheye. This can also shoot video at 1080p at frame rates of 60 FPS or 30 FPS. This is the type of video you can expect from this camera. This is upscaled to 4K, and it's not bad. The camera also records audio with the footage. So usability with this camera is excellent. Its button placement is logical, and it lets you reach the features you want at any given moment without too much fuss. Its body is molded in such a way as to avoid your fingers from slipping when pushing buttons, especially when the camera is wet. Take the shutter button for example. It has a textured finish and is placed next to a raised portion on the top panel in order to maximize grip. It's a great touch. Alright, so let's take a look at the lens on this. The Fujifilm XP95 has a Fujinon 5x wide optical zoom, and it's set to 5mm to 25mm. What that means is that this gives you an equivalent of 28 to 140mm on a full-frame camera, which is a decent range for most situations. I took this camera out on a couple of adventures, one of which was a longboarding trip to the next town. The camera performed well. It powers on quickly, allowing you to compose and take the image in a matter of seconds. In the hands, the XP95 feels great thanks to its nice design. Weight is also good, being not too heavy, and you can access all of the buttons on the back comfortably with your thumb. The 16 megapixel CMOS sensor with the Fujinon lens can produce some nice results with good color and contrast with enough details. In some cases, images can seem a bit soft, and the quality will be dependent on the ISO selected and the amount of light available. In order to get that 5x optical zoom within that tiny space, some compromises had to be made with image quality. Taking the camera underwater is an easy process. Just make sure the battery door is fully locked and jump in. Photos taken underwater are good, with no noticeable degradation in image quality. Another thing to note here is that this camera does not float, so if you drop it in the water, it will sink. I recommend getting a floaty wrist strap for it. Also, when you take the camera out of the water, make sure the camera is fully dry before you open the battery compartment door. So a few things to know about this camera. Despite it being fairly rugged, it's important to keep the seals around the battery compartment door clean and undamaged in order to prevent water or dirt from entering the camera. If you're taking the camera underwater, anything from a grain of sand or a hair at the sealing surfaces can cause a leak given enough pressure. So it's important to check and clean these areas whenever possible. You can do this using a soft bristle brush or a bulb blower. Just remember to clean away and down from the battery compartment door. This way you avoid debris falling into the camera. Another thing to note is that these cameras are almost 10 years old now as of this recording. And if you notice any deformation or brittleness to that door seal, I recommend not taking the camera underwater. You can find this camera online for anywhere between $80 to $100, depending on the condition, which puts it at a way lower price than other waterproof cameras. So durability with the XP95 is great. The camera is built to last and can handle rough environments. In the time that I've had it, the camera's taken a few knocks, but despite this, the camera hasn't given me any issues. So in conclusion, is the XP95 worth adding to your collection? I think so. This camera offers quite a bit. It can take a few bumps, it can go underwater, it can take 16 megapixel photos and 1080 video. It's a fun little camera that takes away some of the worries you might have when taking a camera out on an adventure. It lets you focus on getting the shots while also enjoying the trip. Okay, so that does it for this review. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video or learned something new. If you did, please hit the thumbs up button. It really helps out this channel. Also, if you think someone else might enjoy this video, please share it with them. And if you'd like to learn more about legacy camera gear, check out some of my other videos and consider subscribing. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.